Good morning. Welcome to the Windsor Star News Cafe. I'm Don McArthur with Dylan Kristy, and our special guest this morning, Andrew Dowie. He's running in Ward 1 in Tecumseh.
Hello, everybody.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. Can you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? You're a staff engineer at the City of Windsor.
That's right. I've been working at the City of Windsor beginning in 2002. Spent most of my time in public works, addressing basement flooding relief, traffic calming, some very notable things. I've got some battle scars to prove it. But most recently, I spent time first in the Chief Administrative Office. I did some internal work, including looking at doing business better, performance measurement, and service delivery review. And I worked in the Office of Mayor Eddie Francis for 2.5 years. I was his Policy and Economic Development Officer. Now I'm back at Traffic Engineering, or Transportation Planning as it's formerly called, at the City of Windsor, and continuing to look to make improvements to neighborhoods. So I've got bike lanes on my desk. I've also got traffic impact studies and various other neighborhood improvements.
So you're going to be a pretty busy person then. Like, I'm thinking of all the election issues that are coming up right now. You have, well, Fred Francis, he has the flooding and the traffic calming that he's pushing forward, but bike lanes, like...
Well, I mean, that's my background, and it's something I can speak to and articulate very easily in terms of what goes into the design, how the issues come about, what are the causes, what are the solutions that are out there. And part of what inspired me to run was seeing how past decisions had been made in terms of, let's put up a stop sign here, that'll solve all our problems, when in reality that just aggravates the situation. And being around the table and being able to vocalize the knowledge I have in terms of the research I've done, and knowing how local government can work and work better, I believe can be an asset.
Okay, so I know you're running in Tecumseh, but
Yes.
you just said you did a lot of work on flooding in Windsor. What do you think about the city's refusal to release that flooding data that the Windsor Star, ultimately the Privacy Commissioner ruled in favor of our request to get that info?
Well, you know what, it's a double-edged sword, because when you're in a government, you have to protect people's rights, you have to look at risk management. Ultimately, a decision came from the Privacy Commissioner, and the orders were levied. So the information will be coming out because that's what the decision is.
So do you agree with the city's withholding that information, or should they have given that information out?
I agree with the Privacy Commissioner making their decision based on the law that we have.
So you disagree with the city? Really, I mean, I'm asking you, the city held on to this flooding data. The Privacy Commissioner said they should have released it.
I think it's a matter of interpretation. Whatever the law says the city should do, the city should do.
Okay, so I guess he doesn't agree with the city's decision, but enough about Windsor, because you're running in Tecumseh,
yes.
Ward 1 in Tecumseh. What do you see as the big issues in Tecumseh?
I think there's a sense of stagnation. What I've knocked on about 3/4 of the doors in town, and so far I've gotten a lot of actually a very friendly response. And what the residents are telling me is that they're fairly happy, but they kind of wish that there had been a bit more of an evolution throughout the town, and that we'd be able to see a bit more in terms of development, in terms of ways that we can improve the community. But it seems like the last 4 years have been status quo. In fact, the biggest complaint I've gotten so far on the campaign trail has been a decision that's several years in the past, the Lakewood Golf Course, and that speaks to me that really there isn't a whole lot that has occurred in the ensuing 4 years, given that this is still top of mind, and that's an issue that can't be undone. We have to move forward. The decisions are made and they're not reversible. But what I can bring to the table is absolutely an opportunity to provide a fresh set of eyes, founded on a knowledge of local government, customer service that I can provide, because I see it as a big extension of the job that I do. I address residents' concerns during the day. I end up being able to refer people to the appropriate personnel, and I know the laws, I know the people. So the value add that I provide is both from a customer service perspective and an oversight perspective in knowing how local government works and how to resolve the issues at hand. Now, I have some initiatives that I do outside of my professional employment as well, and what comes to mind there is I'm the chair of Professional Engineers Ontario, Windsor Essex chapter, and we have a lot of initiatives. Most recently, Windsor Star graciously published a story on Wireless World back in March during National Engineering Month, and we're having an event in the fall at at Devonshire Mall, actually October 5th, so next weekend. Those are the kinds of social initiatives that we're putting together as an organization. And I'm also part of Scouts Canada, been a lifelong member, and I've been a leader since 2006. What I find from working with youth is there is an enthusiasm for community involvement and wanting to do what they can to improve the community. They just don't know where to start. And it's a tremendous opportunity to be able to connect with youth, and to be able to ensure that they can participate in the community and have a legacy that they can be proud of themselves, whether it's cleaning up the Pike Creek or adopting a park. I mean, they just want to be there. And these are the kinds of community building exercises that we don't see a lot of in Tecumseh, that I truly believe that we can benefit from and start to exploit.
Okay, what about, cut you off there for a second. What about, we had a candidate on here talking about regional transit the other day. So people got to be able to get to Oldcastle, they got to get to Windsor, Amherstburg, all of that. Where do you stand on regional transit? There was a bus that went around Tecumseh a couple of years ago. It was a ghost bus. We did a story on it because nobody rode it. So where do you stand on regional transit?
I'm definitely in favor of it. I believe that if anybody can bridge the gap and make it happen between Windsor and Tecumseh at the very least, it would be me. My background is in transportation planning, and I have dealt with the transit officials on many occasions. I also would be a user. When I attended university at the University of Ottawa, I relied on the 95, and done right, transit can be a great asset. I do find it disappointing that we have not seen progress on this front, and I truly believe I'm the candidate to bridge the gap, because just based on my career so far, I believe that my professional judgment and my opinions have been valued by politicians in many municipalities, both in Tecumseh and in Windsor, and at the county. I served at the county level on the library board for a term as well. So I'm a new face, and I can bring some real assets to the table on that front.
Excellent. Well, just quickly, on your website, you list as a policy priority, I guess, core renewal, transforming Tecumseh Road East.
That's right.
Now, I went back and I found some photos of Tecumseh Road East from 1956 and 1960. It actually is pretty flourishing. The picture that's up right now is from 1960, I believe, right after that stretch was expanded. It was widened.
Yes.
But there's people walking. There's a lot of business down there. Can you just briefly talk about what you would like to see done for that area?
Well, the town's actually got a head start on this. They developed the Tecumseh Road Main Street Community Improvement Plan back in at the beginning of the term, late 2010, early 2011. There's a workshop about 2 years ago, and so far the residents of the Tecumseh have not seen the results of that workshop and what the plan is going to call for. So I know that is in the works, but I want to be the champion for that. I see a lot of wins there, both on the employment side, on the active transportation side, and giving quality of life to Tecumseh residents, having a vibrant commercial district instead of the series of vacancies that we are currently seeing. It will take some championing, some vision to make that a reality, but the Highway 39 going out to Tilbury, those days are over, and we need to reclaim Tecumseh Road as our downtown. I certainly think it's achievable, and I think it's got tremendous benefit, and I'd like to, it is my infrastructure priority.
Wonderful.
How about McNamara? Do you like him?
You know what? I love the entire town council, and they've been gracious to me. They've provided me with some committee appointments, and what I would like to do is be around the table, join them, and add value to the council table. Whoever the remainder of the council may be, I'm certainly going to be working with them, and because I can't achieve my priorities without their support.
Okay, now you're running against in Ward 1, right? There's 4 wards in Tecumseh?
There are 4 words, yes.
Okay, so you're running against Pat Blaze, Bob Gilbo, Daniel Hofgartner, and Rita Ossington.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I don't consider it as running against. They're all very fine individuals. There are 2 open seats for this election, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone has the opportunity to offer their candidacy. I looked at what I had to put on the table, and I believe I can make our community a greater place by providing the value add from my professional background and my volunteer background, for that matter. And having said all that, all excellent candidates, I certainly am seeking your vote, Tecumseh, to be your ward councillor, and my record will, hope ideally speak for itself should I be elected. But you can count on me providing an informed answer from my background in local government. I know what the services are. I know how to achieve solutions. That's been my career so far.
Okay. All right, Andrew, thanks for joining us at the Windsor Star News Cafe.
Thank you very much.